Can a pharmacy or life science graduate actually build career in analytics, consulting, or even global healthcare roles? I used to ask myself this exact question, and the answer is absolutely yes. So that's exactly why I started this channel. Hello everyone, welcome to Analytics RX, where life sciences meets data. I'm Deepika Vishwakarma. I come from a pharmacy background myself with an MBA in business analytics. So, on this channel, we are going to simplify careers in life sciences, healthcare analytics, clinical research, and consulting in a way that it actually makes sense. So, whether you're a fresher, a career switcher, or maybe someone who's just curious about this space, you're in the right place. In today's video, we are walking through career paths, skills you need, and opportunities in life science industry. So let's dive into it. Okay, first thing first, what even is life sciences? Simply put, it's the study of living organisms and how that knowledge gets applied to healthcare and medicine. Now, when most people hear this, they think of it like, oh, it's just a pharma field. But it's actually much bigger than that. You have got three major sectors driving the whole industry. First one is pharmaceuticals, that is your drug discovery, drug development, manufacturing. Then you have got biotechnology, which uses living systems like cells and microorganisms to develop therapies and diagnostics. Then there's third one, medical devices, the instruments and the equipments that are used to diagnose and treat patients. It is basically that. So think of life sciences as a massive ecosystem all working together to improve human health, and every part of that ecosystem needs skilled professionals. Moving ahead, now let's talk about how a drug actually goes from an idea to your medicine cabinet or to a medicine box, because this is something a lot of people don't fully understand, and honestly speaking it is very fascinating to me. It basically starts with drug discovery, where scientists are identifying the potential drug targets. Then it moves to preclinical testing, basically all the lab work to check if it is safe enough to even try it on humans. After that comes the clinical trial, which happens in three phases. Phase 1 is small scale safety testing. Phase 2 basically checks whether it actually works. Then phase 3 is a much larger confirmation study. Once all that's done, it goes to regulatory bodies. In India, that's CDSCO. Globally, you have got FDA, EMA for approval. Then, if approved, the large scale manufacturing begins. It is conducted under strict GMP standard. Then, even after a drug is in the market, you'll be surprised that there is an ongoing monitoring called as pharmacovigilance to catch any safety issues further. So every single stages needs people, and that's where your career comes in. Okay, so this is probably the slide most of you came for, like what are the actual job opportunities. And honestly speaking, the variety here even surprised me when I explored this field. You have got PV, which is drug safety monitoring, clinical data management, where you're handling trial data. There's regulatory affairs for getting drugs approved, medical writing for scientific creating scientific documents, then biostatistics for applying statistics to clinical data, clinical research, and then on the more tech side we have safety informatics and PV technology, and of course there's healthcare analytics, which is a huge and growing area, plus the more traditional paths like research and development, quality assurance, medical affairs, and sales and marketing in pharma. I'll try to make dedicated videos on each of these, so don't worry if you don't know what half of these mean yet. We'll try to get there. Moving ahead. Now here's something that really puts things into perspective, role of analytics. About 80% of pharma companies today are using advanced analytics in their drug development process, and that's massive. Believe you me, that is massive. And the reason being is simple. Data is everywhere in this industry. So, from how the clinical trials are designed to detecting drug safety signals to getting regulatory approvals or to just running operations more efficiently, analytics is playing a role at every single step. Also, real world evidence is a huge area right now where we are pulling insights from actual patient data outside of the clinical trial setting. So, if you have any kind of analytical or data background, this industry genuinely wants you. Moving ahead. Now, let's get more specific about the analytics and consulting side of things. So, a data analyst in life sciences is analyzing clinical as well as patient data to help with decision making, whereas a biostatistician is designing the actual studies and running the statistical models. Then we have got real world evidence analyst is working with data from the real world, think like insurance claim, EHR, that is electronic health records, basically to study how drugs actually perform outside of the controlled trials. Then you have got the consultants, life sciences consultant advising the pharma and biotech firms on their strategy, digital transformation. And then we have got healthcare data consultant. These people are just using analytics to solve business problem. It is huge. So what makes these roles exciting is the combination that you are working at an intersection of science, data and business strategy. Then you have got high demand, competitive salaries, global exposure. It is genuinely a strong space to build career in. Moving ahead, who can enter this field? Okay, I know some of you might be thinking, yes, Deepika, this does sound great, but is it even for me? And the answer is yes, genuinely it is. This field is open to so many different backgrounds. If you have done pharmacy, biotech, microbiology, or any life science degree, you are already halfway there. Then, if you are a doctor, a nurse, a pharmacist, or you work in a lab, your domain knowledge is incredibly valuable. Then, if you come from a STEM or analytics background, suppose a statistician, computer science, or data analytics background, the industry absolutely needs your skills. Then, even if you are coming from an IT or a completely different field and you're just interested in healthcare, there are paths for you too. So, what I can say is this is one of those industries where your background is an asset, not a barrier. Moving ahead. Okay, let's get practical about what you need to build. And I want to start with domain knowledge first because this is honestly what like most people overlook. So, domain knowledge is what makes you valuable, specifically in the life sciences domain. There, so basically, try to understand GCP guidelines, basic pharmacology, how clinical trial works, what the regulatory landscape looks like. Then, once you have the domain foundation, then build your technical skills. SQL and Python are the most important, they almost come up in every other role. Then, Excel too, and data visualization tools like Power BI, Tableau are super valuable here. Also, SAS is used a lot, specifically in clinical and regulatory settings. Then, beyond the technical stuff, strong analytical thinking and problem solving are non negotiable. And honestly, soft skills matter just as much, like being able to communicate your findings clearly, manage stakeholders, have a sharp eye for detail. These like equally matter. My formula is very simple: domain knowledge plus technical skills plus business understanding. You don't need to master all three overnight, but that's the direction to grow in. Okay, moving ahead. So, how you actually get started? Here's a practical roadmap. Step 1 is build your foundation. Get comfortable with biology, pharmacology basics, Excel, SQL. These are your building blocks. Start from here. Then step 2 is learn and upskill. Add Python, Power BI, get relevant certifications like GCP or clinical research certifications. Then step 3 is gaining experience. like internship or entry level roles in PV, clinical data, or analyst positions are a great starting point. Then step 4 is specialize. Once you're in, figure out which area excites you the most, whether it's PV, clinical research, analytics, or consulting. Then you can go deeper into that particular field. So step 5 is growing your career. People get stuck with one role, so try switching roles, build deep expertise, and eventually moving into a senior or consulting positions. It is not a sprint, it is a journey, and here every step compounds. Okay, now let's be real and talk about the numbers. No point avoiding it. So here's where things stand in India right now. At entry level, you're looking roughly at 3 to 6 lakh per annum. At mid level, with 3 to 5 years of experience, you can get up to 6 to 12 lakhs per annum. Then for senior roles like leadership or specialized positions, you can go up to 12 to 25 lakh per annum and even beyond. This industry itself is growing at 12 to 15% CAGR in India, which is actually strong. And real world evidence is booming area. AI/ML integration is creating brand new specialized roles that didn't even existed a year, like few years ago. So from growth perspective, the timing to enter this field is genuinely good. Moving ahead. All right. This is the last slide, and these are the things I genuinely wish someone had told me earlier. First thing is network. Get on LinkedIn, connect with people working in life sciences, attend conferences or webinars. Basically, relationships opens doors that resumes don't. Second is stay updated. Regulations change, guidelines evolve. Make it a habit to follow FDA and EMA updates. Then third is build a portfolio. Personal projects, case studies. There are publicly available like healthcare data sets. You can work on them, document them, even show people what you can do, not just what you have studied. So when these three things put together, it will genuinely set you apart. Also, yes, one more thing I wanted to add is that there are so many people searching for jobs and seeking interviews. So this one is super practical and massively underrated thing. Try to update your profile or resume on naukri.com every single night. Just open it, save it, even if nothing has changed. Naukri's algorithm ranks recently updated profiles like higher in their recruiter searches. So doing this like literally takes 30 seconds and it keeps you consistently visible to recruiters. It works. Trust me on this one, like sharing from my personal experience, it does. Okay, alright, that's a wrap on my intro video. If this was helpful even a little bit, then please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss what's coming next. See you in the next one. Till then, happy learning.